common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, joining us now to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff is Professor Alan Dershowitz. Professor Dershowitz, there's a lot of other big news today. I'm sure you saw this. The Duke Lacrosse case. That was that famous case that happened 20 years ago. I covered it when I was at Fox News. The woman comes out and says, I made it up and I have no regrets. It's 20 years later.
It's worse than that. If she had been prosecuted for perjury, which she committed, then she would not have committed the murder she committed. So the failure to prosecute her for perjury, for framing these innocent young kids, led to the death of an innocent person. And we have to prosecute anybody who makes a deliberate false allegation of rape or anything else. Look, I was victimized by that. You know that. And the woman in my case finally admitted that, well, she may have confused me with somebody else. But people who deliberately frame somebody, they have to be prosecuted. You can't let them get away with it. And you can't let the people who believe them get away with it. The president of Duke University, a woman, said, women never lie, so you have to believe them.
My prosecutor.
God. It was horrible.
Let's go backwards.
It's too little too late.
Andrew Cuomo, the person that took him down on page 1 of the New York Post, all of a sudden last week and has to go to trial. And she doesn't want to go to trial, go under oath.
Yeah, no. Look, this is very widespread because there's profit in it for lawyers. There's profit in it for the people who make the charges and then get a settlement. Remember, I have a friend who's a lawyer, a woman lawyer in California, and she said she would be writing $100,000 checks virtually every week on behalf of a Hollywood celebrity or somebody like that who was being falsely accused, but for $100,000, hey, that's cheaper than having to have your name in the paper.
Well, I've had a recent case that I'm not going to talk about that somebody wants to shake me down because she was traumatized at WABC.
Yeah, no, there are shakedowns all over the place. The lawyer's fault. It's the people's fault. The lawyers sometimes encourage people to come forward.
Professor, that's why we never surrender. We'll spend $1 million defending versus paying out a penny.
Well, I've had to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars defending myself, finally resulting in an admission by the accuser that she may have confused me with somebody else and dropping all the charges against me. But my name was still blackened for a long period of time. Temple Emmanuel won't let me speak there. The 92nd Street Y won't let me speak there. So
let me ask you, Professor Dershowitz, also going back to the Duke case, is there anything, I mean, it's obviously, a done deal, but is there anything that the guys can do 20 years later?
Yeah. There's a law now that says if you accuse somebody of rape, there's no statute of limitations. You can go back 100 years. The law has to be changed. If you falsely accuse somebody of rape, you should have the statute of limitations go back as long as the rape statute goes back. But that's not the law today. So these poor kids can't sue her for defamation and can't sue the people who have made the false claims in the newspapers because the statute of limitations has expired on that.
Wow. By the way, I want to tell everybody also, she was asked, do you regret anything? Here it is 20 years later. No regrets.
Okay. I have to, unfortunately, get off the phone because we're going to a checkpoint, but it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And can't wait till next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love having you on. You be safe. Thank you very much.